everyone, welcome to a new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today is another episode in my Create This Book 2 series. So I'm going to be going through 3 different pages in my book and completing them on camera. If you guys are interested in seeing my other Create This Book 2 episodes, I have 2 others, so you guys can check those out. The links will be in the description box. Alright, so starting off with the first page that says create color. So for this I got out these Pantone swatch postcards and some acrylic paint that I have had laying around for a while. So I chose some random colors for this. I wanted to match the Pantone swatches with the acrylic paint, so I'm just gluing those on. I ran out of glue on my glue stick, so I had to get creative and like dig out the extra and like kind of paint it on there with a ruler, so it all worked out in the end. But then I used different acrylic paint colors, so I'm going to be using red and blue, and then I'm just kind of making a gradient. So I'm going pretty dark on one end of the gradient and then lighter on the other side, and I'm just kind of doing that on top of all the different swatches and also on top of the paper, just to kind of add some different dimension with like overlap and stuff like that. So I did that with the red first, and then I'm doing it with the blue as well. As you can see, I was really struggling with the one hot pink Pantone swatch with it staying on. It was just like falling off and the glue stick wasn't working, so I tried to like cut a portion of it to make like the folding better between the pages, but it wasn't really working out in my favor. So after that was dry, I added some washi tape in this like very subtle pink and white kind of pattern. This was also to keep the swatches in place a bit better, but it didn't really work out that well. And then I'm using a black pen and also like a black Sharpie to name all of the colors that I made. Honestly, I thought this would be easier than it was, but like I just was pretty low on name ideas when it came to actually naming these colors. So some of them are not the coolest or most creative, but I mean, that is all right. And here is the finished page. It's kind of cool. It's nothing too special, but it was really fun to like paint on these colors and also use the Pantone swatches that have been lying around for a very long time that I haven't really put to any good use. So that is how it turned out. Let's move on to the next prompt, which says create softness. Make this page soft. So I decided to put some little sheep on here. So I sketched these guys out with pencil first, and then I'm using a like micron fine liner to go over everything. So I have some like sheep standing, some sleeping, lying down, etc, etc. So I drew those guys out, and then I'm adding this like little texture pattern with some lines around them, kind of to be like grass, I guess, and then also adding in some little flowers. So I colored in the body portion of the sheep with a gray Crayola Super Tip, and then I'm coloring the flowers with this yellow color, and then I'm using some cotton balls to put on there to create the softness portion of the sheep. This was kind of difficult to like rip apart and place on with the glue stick, but it turned out kind of cool in the end. Some of them are a little bit like overdone with the cotton ball effect, but I think it's still cute regardless. And the final page of this episode, and my favorite, is the prompt create an alphabet. So write every letter of the alphabet on here. So I started by drawing out the entire alphabet, and I outlined that with a black Crayola Super Tip marker. I tried to evenly disperse all the letters throughout the page, and I think that ended up working out okay. And then I am going in with some more Crayola Super Tips. I have my entire like 100 pack beside me that I'm using like all of them for this page, and I'm coloring in each of the letters with something that starts with that letter. Lots of these things are like the most basic things you can think of, like apples for X. I have like an X-ray fish. I couldn't think of anything better, so x-ray fish it is. So I have like watermelon for W, snakes, tea and stuff like that. Pretty much anything that came to my mind. Some of them are like dumber than others, like for Y I just colored it yellow because I couldn't think of anything, so that's alright. And it also like made the process a little quicker by coloring some in with pure colors. Speaking of time, this page took a very long time. I really did not think this one through and realized that this was going to be very time consuming, so I spent a lot of time coloring in all of these things, and towards the end I got a little bit more lazy with like the designs I was doing in them. But regardless, I think the page is super cool, really colorful, and I had a show playing on in the background, so it was just kind of fun to color this in with all of my different colors and watch that while I was doing it. After quite a bit of time later, I took a black Crayola Super Tip and added some drop shadows to the sides of all the letters. I think this just makes the page a little bit more cohesive and really makes the letters pop. And because I was feeling that there was still too much white space, I am using my Muji gel pen to just like cursively write what is in each of the letters. I think this is a fun little touch, and it kind of just made it a little bit more unique. And then I'm also extending the drop shadow with the same Muji gel pen just because I was feeling it. So that is the final page. I think this page is so cute. I love all the colors, despite how long it took me to create. So that is how it turned out. Alright, and that brings us to the end of all of the pages of this week's episode. I would love to know your feedback in the comments, and you can let me know which page was your favorite. Like I said, my favorite was the alphabet one, the last one that I did. And like I previously mentioned, I have a couple other Create This Book 2 episodes up on my channel, and also the entire Create This Book 1 series and final flip through, so those will all be linked down below in the description box if you guys would like to check that out. And yeah, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, it's true, I'm falling. Yeah, it's true.